Euro 2024 kicks off this week in Germany, the 17th edition of the European Championships. It will be taking place in 10 stadiums across the country, including the 71,000-seater Olympiastadion in Berlin, which will play host to the final on the 14th of July. The format of the tournament is pretty straightforward, but what about the financial side? Well, let's take a look. Let's start with the prize money in euros. The total pot is the same as Euro 2020, with 331 million up for grabs. Each country receives 9.25 million just for participating. A win in the group stages is worth 1 million, a draw 500,000. If you make it to the knockout stage round of 16, it's an additional 1.5 million, 2.5 for a quarter-final, 4 million for a semi-final, 5 million if you're runners-up, and 8 million for the winners, which means for the winners of the tournament, a total of 28.5 million euros available. Some of the world's best players will be on show. England have the most expensive squad assembled, valued at 1.52 billion euros. Jude Bellingham heads up that list at 180 million, closely followed by Phil Foden at 150 million and Bukayo Saka at 140. France are in second with a squad value of 1.23 billion, Kylian Mbappe sitting at the top of their player list at 180 million. Portugal finish off the top three with a squad value of 1.05 billion euros. Rafa Leao proving their most expensive player at 90 million. The tournament is projected to generate 2.4 billion in revenue for UEFA. That will predominantly be split across media rights, commercial sponsorships, ticketing and hospitality. This is over 400 million more than the last two iterations of the tournament, which brought in 1.9 billion euros. The Euros in 2021 are, however, an outlier, as the COVID pandemic clipped the revenue-generating potential of tickets and hospitality in particular. What is consistent is the importance of media rights, which at 1 billion and 1.13 billion contributed over half of that revenue across the last two tournaments, and will be equally as influential this year. While much of the value attached to media deals is hard to uncover, Fox in the US have paid a 25% increase on the previous deal, taking it from $115 million to $150 million. If we apply that proportionally across international rights deals, it would add 250 million euros to the bottom line of the tournament. 2.7 million tickets, premium hospitality experiences, and commercial markups are all responsible for the continued growth of income across the board. Sponsors drive a huge amount of value across sports events, and the Euros is no different. Coca-Cola, Adidas, Booking.com, Vivo are all official global partners of the tournament. This contributed over 520 million euros in 2020, and that number will undoubtedly increase for this tournament. And what about tickets? What does it cost to attend the matches? Well, UEFA have created four main categories. Fan First is the cheapest, followed by Category 3, 2 and 1. For the group games, a fan ticket costs 30 euros, while a Category A ticket costs 200. Unsurprisingly, as the tournament develops, these prices increase. And if you're lucky enough to attend the final, a Fan First comes in at 90 euros, Category 3, 300 euros, Category 2, 600, and Category 1, 1,000. Now, they do have an even more premium offering that sits in Category 1, the Prime seats, guaranteeing the best view in a non-hospitality house. A Prime seat for the group stage is 400 euros, and for the final, 2,000. Now, the hospitality experience is more important than ever at sporting events. There are plenty of options for fans to choose from, with the Platinum and Prestige lounges offering catering, premium seating and unlimited drinks. This will cost you anywhere between 1,000 to 5,000 euros per person. Private boxes for 10 to 12 people, which include private dining and stadium seating, range from 27 to 33,000. However, when we get to the final, it's a different ballgame. Private box for 10 people will cost an incredible 250,000 euros. Now, while all this is hugely prosperous for UEFA, what is the economic impact on Germany? Well, Germany's economy shrank 0.3% in 2023, making it the worst performing of major global economies. That is expected to slightly increase this year, and the Euros will likely play a part in that, but it is not necessarily as boom-inducing as you'd expect. For a major event like this, consumer habits tend to shift rather than increase. Fans may have a bratwurst rather than go to a restaurant. They may stay in and watch the game rather than go to the cinema. It could provide a welcome boost for beer sales, however, which have been on a downward trend in the country for the last few years, at roughly 4.5% a year. In the 2006 World Cup, beer sales did increase to 5.1%, and this will likely be replicated again. Hotel rates will rise on average 57% across the tournament, a recognition of the increased demand on crucial match days. There are longer-term positive impacts on the country and the economy that include upgrades to infrastructure, transport, hospitality services, all major benefits recognised long after the tournament finishes. Much of the economic impact, of course, depends on how Germany perform in the tournament. The longer they stay in, the better the impact on the economy. Looking at the UK, the impact a successful campaign for pre-tournament favourites England may have is significant, with an anticipated £2.75 billion, as people spend across food and drink, electricals, souvenirs, garden cooking and much more. Over 80 million pints of beer will be drunk, generating £400 million, with 12 million people expected to purchase the most popular food, pizza, generating an additional 100 million. Hospitality venues will see a welcome uptick in business, with an injection of 612 million as people attend pubs and venues to catch the games. As with Germany, the overall impact depends on the performance of England and Scotland though. And finally, what about total spend for attending fans? Well, it depends on who you're following. Sticking to England, a fan who follows the team from the first group game to the final, should they get there, will spend a minimum of €9,500 on transport, accommodation, food and drink and tickets. This greatly depends on which accommodation you choose though, with Booking.com hotels expected to cost €5,000, while Airbnb would only set you back €2,000. Scotland fans face the most expensive tournament, spending €11,000 supporting an unexpected journey to the final, while Czech Republic fans can revel in the cheapest experience at €7,000. Fan zones have been set up across Germany, the biggest hosting 30,000 people in Berlin, with beers sold at a respectable €5 and a bratwurst just below €4. But no matter where you're watching or what you decide to do for the games, it promises to be an amazing summer of football. Now, if you enjoyed this video and we'll be doing more in the lead up to the biggest sporting occasions, please follow and subscribe to our channels on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify and Apple. We look forward to seeing you soon.